I'd like to talk a little bit about indoor air quality. I think everybody needs to be more conscious about indoor air quality, and I wouldn't expect that there'd be a lot of argument to that with everything that's going on in the world right now. I did do 2 videos about indoor air quality formerly, one about home HVAC filtration and one about public HVAC awareness. And I'll hook you up with both of those at the end of this video. But there's also a lot of homes and some commercial spaces as well that don't fit into either of those other discussion points. I know here in BC, where good, green, clean hydroelectric power has been available since the 50s, we have a lot of homes that are heated with electric baseboard heat. And a lot of them predate the standards where, nowadays you would put a central air exchanger into a home like that. But I know I have had several homes in my life that didn't have that. And those spaces create a bigger challenge to control home air quality. So even though in this day of viral, what are they saying on the medical people like to say, controlling the virus loading or density or something, I find it useful to think of indoor air quality the same way that we always have in terms of particle count. And I think the majority of people are probably aware of it, but indoor air quality has been an issue for a long time before there was a COVID plague. An airborne viral infection just shines a light on an existing condition. So what do you do when you have a home that doesn't have an HVAC system at all? Perhaps it uses electric baseboard heat. Well, there's a list of things you shouldn't do as well as a list of things you should do. So one of the things that I've often run into, people in the interest of saving money and reducing heat load and probably thinking a little bit green-wise that they shouldn't waste heat, are sealing their homes up tight with, cellophane film and all manner of other airflow blockers. That's a really bad idea in a home that does not have air exchange, like a central air exchanger of some form, or an HVAC system at least that brings in fresh air when it runs. Nonetheless, that is what a lot of people have done. So that's the first thing. You shouldn't do that, and if that is what you're doing, you need to undo it. That doesn't necessarily mean taking all the cellophane off the windows. It means coming up with a plan that compensates for the fact that you've sealed the house up so tight. So as I said, I've had several homes that fall into this category before my current home. And what I've always done, most homes either have a working kitchen fan and or a working bathroom fan. You ought to have both. But it's a worthwhile thing to leave one of those fans running all the time and crack a window at the opposite end of the house. And yes, that does create a cool draft, depending on the outside temperature. And it does cost you extra money on your heating bill. That's true. But at the same time, it is reducing your indoor particle count. And in today's particle count is included those micro droplets that are carrying the airborne viral plague. So, there's no one answer, and that's why I'm referring to this as indoor air quality awareness. You need to be aware that it's a thing, and you need to be aware that you personally can do things about it. So maybe you do have, your parents over or your sister and her husband over or something like that. the responsible thing to do is to make sure that that home isn't building an ever-increasing viral count. So maybe when you got company, you open an extra couple windows and you turn on even another fan. Whatever it is, the awareness of indoor air quality is as simple as being aware of not, creating a confined space for yourself. I mean, really, I think I'm asking people to use confined space type thinking. We don't do that with our homes very often, but I certainly know some well sealed up electric baseboard heat homes that, in my opinion, should be dealt with as confined spaces. But nonetheless, if you think in terms of confined spaces, you think in terms of, will I have enough oxygen there? Will I deplete my own oxygen while I'm in the environment? Do I have a fresh air supply? Those questions should all be applied to your home and your environment in your home as well. And that also involves when you're going out visiting. I'm not going to lecture people on whether you're following the rules or not, but if you've decided that you're going to accept somebody's hospitality offer and you walk in, you can tell when you walk into a tightly sealed up home. When the humidity's 98%, when there's moisture on the inside of the walls, like when you can smell the mold and the mildew. Yeah, maybe you don't want to make waves with your friends, but you can quickly come up with a reason not to stay in that house. And if it's that important that you do stay in that house, then I guess the next step is to make up reasons why you're not going to go visit your family for another 2 weeks in order to keep them safe from your indiscretions. Anyway, just saying, I don't know anybody that doesn't need to become more aware of indoor air quality. Have a nice day. Bye.